Through all the fights on the card and go round by round to relive the action you want to see. Only with DAZN.
We make it official today, gents.
Yeah? It gets no bigger than this. Like, I'm buzzing. Just give me that first bell of the first fight now.
What a finish. Fantastic goal. Brawl for Barcelona.
Playing a Clásico in Camp Nou means everything. Most of these players are Barcelona fans.
Fue increíble, la verdad.
He was born to be the phenomenon.
In the space of 6 years, he'd gone from being a raw novice to going in with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
This is all about the fan zone, and we want everyone at home, don't we, to get involved. Scanning that QR code for our UK and US viewers. Get involved. We want to know what you guys are thinking.
Just did this to that fight.
Utterly ruthless.
How do you like it?
Off the shoulder. So aggressive, so focused.
Look at these two guys. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
And we are back in the heart of Las Vegas at Sin City's newest luxury hotel on the Strip, the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. And tomorrow night, we bring boxing to the Blue Live Theater for the very first time as a handful of world title contenders take center stage in the sport's celebrated capital, all happening live on DAZN tomorrow night here in Vegas. And a good afternoon to you all out there as we welcome you back to the Fontainebleau. Justin Shackle, the newly minted 126-pound champion in the WBA. Raymond Ford joining us for this weigh-in show as Matchroom Boxing brings an exciting and underrated card here at the Fontainebleau, also ushering in a new venue as well. But we talked about it yesterday. These names that you see, they're well known to the hardcore fans. They're now trying to push their name into the conversation in their respective weight classes when it comes to world title contention. You, my friend, did that a little over a month ago. Congratulations to you. Good to see you, Ray.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to see you, too.
WBA featherweight champ, taking a big step up in Komatov. You defeat him. Fight of the year, I think, right at the top of the leaderboard now for Fight of the Year, happening over in upstate New York. How's life changed for you, my friend, in 1 month?
You know, I'm getting a lot of love now. Matchroom showing a lot of love now, so I'm feeling great. Now I'm just ready, you know, to get back in the mix and, you know, prepare for my next fight. So you're Matchroom's first fully developed U.S. champion. Now you have your peer, your stablemate, Diego Pacheco, in the co-feature here. Richardson Hitchins as well, but you and Pacheco, you start from the beginning with Matchroom. How special was it to be known as that
fighter to get the first world title for Matchroom in America?
It feels great. You know, like you said, being the first one and one of the first ones to sign with Matchroom when it came over to the U.S., it means a lot to me, and I just want to keep, you know, making history for Matchroom.
And we're hoping that several other stablemates will follow suit in short order. Let's take a look at some of the matches that we have for you tomorrow night, beginning at 3:40 local time here, 6:40 Eastern in Las Vegas on Before the Bell. Harley Medeiros, Pedro Vicente will kick off the action. The pro debut for the 13th-time national amateur champ, Steven Navarro. He'll be taking on a tough opponent in Jose Lopez. And word came down a little while ago that Mark Castro and Abraham Montoya fighting for the WBC Continental Americas title at 130 pounds. That is going to move to the main card on DAZN, which will start off at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here at the Fontainebleau. So Castro moving to the main card. An exciting fight there as he goes for his first pro title. And then we take a look at that main card. Castro, like we mentioned, Montoya starting it off, and then the WBC Featherweight Championship on the line. The vacant strap up for grabs between Sky Nicholson and Sarah Mahfoud. Galalia Fai back in action, continuing to make his climb at 112 pounds, taking on another tough Argentine in Agustin Gatto. That one for Yafai's WBC International strap at 112 pounds. We mentioned Diego Pacheco. He's the co-feature coming off a career-best performance against Marlon Coceres back in November in Los Angeles. He will be taking on the undefeated Sean McCalman, who enters at 15-0. And then the main event, Richardson Hitchins back in action against the hard-hitting Argentine Gustavo Lemos. That one an IBF title eliminator inside boxing's hottest division at 140 pounds. Perhaps the winner there tomorrow night will meet up with the winner of Subriel Matias and Liam Paro coming up in June over in Puerto Rico. Let's talk about 140-pound division right now. As a fellow boxer, obviously, not competing in that weight class, but just an observer, a fan of the sport, what do you think about what's going on at super lightweight?
I think it's a great division, and, you know, it's getting hot. A lot of the guys from 135 is moving up there. So I think it's a great division to, you know, keep your eyes on. Richardson Hitchins is a great friend of mine, and I think he's going to look spectacular tomorrow.
You know, I think there's a common theme between you and Richardson, and it has to do with the urgency that you train and kind of live with, dedicated to the sport. You live the lifestyle. You guys go around, you travel during your training camps. You know, a lot of times fighters come to the guy who's getting ready for a fight. You're out on the go, you're trying to get that great work. What does it take for a fighter to develop that type of urgency?
It just take a lot of, you know, determination, dedication, staying focused, and, you know, you actually wanting to be great in the sport, so, you know, you got to make sacrifices. The reason why I, you know, go away, I leave home, so I'm not around no distractions. I can focus. I'm around other great fighters, and, you know, we all just pushing each other to be great.
So we're waiting on the first batch of fighters for the weigh-in, and that gives us a little bit of time to kind of preview what's coming up in the weeks ahead. But I want to go back one last time to your fight against Kolmatov. Again, I believe at the top of the leaderboard at the moment for fight of the year. You have people probably reaching out to you, congratulating you for actually winning the title. But who stands out that reached out to you in terms of talking about what you were actually able to do in the ring and deliver a performance like that?
It was a lot of, you know, musicians that reached out to me. Genuine, he's a singer. He reached out to me. Damian Lillard, he reached out to me. It was a lot of celebrities that reached out to me that I didn't even know would be tuning into the fight. So it was a great feeling.
What did Dame say?
Dame was just, you know, telling me, you know, to keep going, stay focused. I look good, and he was proud to see me do what I did.
Dame's a massive boxing fan. Damian Lillard, one of the stars in the NBA. Tune into Ray Ford's fight. That's really cool. That is super cool. We have plenty to coming up here with the weigh-in. We are waiting the fighters' arrival. Here is a look at what's ahead coming up in the weeks ahead on DAZN.
Live on DAZN Worldwide May 18th. The fight of the century. Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson Fury looks to reign as king of the division. But Alexander Usyk is undefeated and coming for the crown. For the first time in over 20 years, all the belts are on the line. Ring of Fire.
Coming up in May, a little over a month from now. It's hard to believe that we are that close to arriving to that massive heavyweight event over in Saudi Arabia. Tomorrow night here at the Fontainebleau, Richardson Hitchins, Gustavo Lemos. In the main event, the co-feature, Diego Pacheco going up against Sean McCalman, a litter of young, promising, hopeful title contenders on this show. Let's spend a little bit more time, like we talked about Diego Pacheco, your stablemate. You kind of entered the matchroom circle at the same time. What have you noticed from him over the last year or so?
I just think he's getting better. He's getting more experience. He's a lot more poised in the ring. He's settling in as a pro, and I'm happy to see what the future holds for him. You
know what I thought was cool? He admitted to some of us during the fighter meetings this week, his last fight, which thought was probably his most impressive against Caceres, he did admit that he took some flush shots in that fight for the first time outside of sparring in real time. When that happens for the first time, what do you go back to after the match in your next training camp to try and tighten up on defense?
You just tighten up on all the mistakes that you made, working on your defense, or whatever he felt like he was doing wrong in the fight. You just go to the gym and correct it day in and day out.
Now, for a fighter at 168 pounds who stands at 6'4", breaking down, I guess, defense here, X's and O's, what are some defensive tactics or points that he could probably make? What do you see him doing differently defense-wise?
I could say, using his feet work, controlling the distance, using his jab more, because, he is so tall and got that range. So I would say, use the shoulder feints, jab, and basically controlling the distance and using his legs.
All right, we have a little bit more time before we start this weigh-in for Hitchins and Lemos coming up tomorrow night on DAZN here at the Fontainebleau. Another quick question about your future now. There were mentions of you going to Saudi Arabia for the 5-on-5. Eddie kind of hit the brakes on that yesterday. What's your status here for 5-on-5?
We just waiting to see. We could go to top rank again and fight with Shockey Foster. We got Joe Cordina at 130. If it's another big fight at 126, we can stay down for one more fight. So we just waiting to see. We've been talking with my team, Eddie Hearn, and basically they planning my next move for me.
So you're in wait and see mode, but you're back in the gym training hard.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always in the gym, so I got right back into the gym about a week and a half later after my fight.
Nice. Had to avoid anybody coming near the grill.
Yeah, definitely. But the hill is healing pretty good.
Absolutely.
So we back.
All right, so we talked about Diego. Let's talk about Richardson Hitchins here, because you're from South Jersey. He's originally from New York City, but like I said, you guys travel all over that tri-state area. What are you seeing from Richardson Hitchins right now that makes him part of that conversation with the Haneys, the Matiases, the Ryan Garcias?
The main thing is just the confidence. He's very confident. I was watching the press conference yesterday, just how he talked. He believes in everything that he's saying. So he's very confident. He's a great boxer, great jab, great defense, great feet work. So I think it's going to be hard for anybody to deal with him.
You see a point in him in his last 2 years or so where he kind of really took off?
Yeah, I believe like as soon as he signed with Eddie Hearn, and he's been putting on great performances. That's where I seen like where his confidence is like through the roof now. So I'm excited to see what he do tomorrow.
He mentions his friendship with Shakur Stevenson. Your friendship with him well documented, leading up to your win, your title win, and then coming away with the title. Now a champion. What's it been like with him? Like the dialogue, the guidance, anything like that from Shakur?
Shakur, we talk a lot now. Not that we wasn't talking before, but we talk a lot more now. He basically just, telling me, stay focused and to remain myself. That's the main thing, and that's the main thing that I took from it is, just continue being myself no matter if I'm a world champion or not.
We're talking with Ray Ford here, the newly crowned WBA featherweight titleist, and he has brought the belt back to Matchroom. Several fighters on this card looking to gain some gold as they move forward in their careers, but they have to get through tomorrow night first here at the Fontainebleau. We are ready to start this weigh-in in Vegas, so without further ado, let's toss it up to the scales. Here's David Diamante.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. We're here at the Fontainebleau for the official weigh-in of our big night of fights taking place here on Saturday night. That's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Bet Online, Stagefront, Everlast, and Riyadh Season. And of course, all the action will be televised exclusively around the world on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight card we have. We have 7 fights in total. We've got 4 title fights. We have 1 world title. And at the top of the bill, 2 young undefeated fighters vie for the 140-pound IBF junior welterweight world title eliminator. Richardson Hitchins against Lemos. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the lightweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 7 victories against 6 defeats. He has 1 draw with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Desde Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, ladies and gentlemen, El Postal, Pedro Vicente. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 5 fights, 5 victories, with 4 of his 5 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome Dennis the Menace, Harley Medeiros. Now to the scale. El Postal, Pedro Vicente. 134.8 for Vicente, 134.8 pounds. And now to the scale, the undefeated Brooklynite, Harley Medeiros. 134.6 for Medeiros, 134.6 for Harley, Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. Face to face, please. Face to face, please.
Medeiros versus Vicente, 6 rounds, lightweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada.
5-0, looking to end a 14-month layoff with a victory. Pedro Vicente 7-6-1. He is facing his 5th straight undefeated opponent. This was a match that was supposed to take place last summer, but we mentioned Medeiros. He had to undergo surgery. He's coming back from that, and he is ready to roll in this fight against the 35-year-old.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 6 rounds in the super flyweight division. Now making his way to the stage, 4-2-3, professional record, fighting out of Ridgewood, New York. Please welcome self-made Jose Lopez. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. Saturday night, he makes his much-anticipated professional debut, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Kid Dynamite, Steven Navarro. Now to the scale, Jose Lopez. 114.8 for Jose Lopez, 114.8. Now to the scales for the very first time as a professional, Kid Dynamite, Steven Navarro. 115.6 pounds for Steven Navarro.
Steven Navarro, 20 years of age, the 13th-time national amateur champion, getting ready to go for his pro debut. Sounds like he has some family and friends making the trip to Vegas from his hometown of Los Angeles.
Navarro versus Lopez, 6-round super flyweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Navarro's opponent, Jose Lopez, 4-2-1, and he has been in 2 straight impressive performances. Doesn't have wins to show for them. He fought to 2 straight draws against some highly established young talent. And he'll look to make life difficult for Steven Navarro on Saturday night. Let's move over to the main card and get the weigh-in, starting with Mark Castro and Abraham Montoya.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is our first title fight of the night as we go 10 rounds for the vacant WBC Continental America's Super Featherweight Championship. Introducing first to the stage is professional record, 22 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former NABF Super Featherweight Champion, presentando de Mexicali, Baja California, Abraham Philly Montoya. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, perfect. 11-0, 8 knockouts. Fighting out of Fresno, California, Mark Castro. Now to the scale, Abraham Philly Montoya. $129 bang on, 129 pounds for Montoya. And now to the scale, the undefeated Californian, Mark Castro. $130 pounds, bang on the super featherweight limit from Mark Castro. 130 pounds, bang on.
Face, Abraham. Face to face. Face to face.
Castro v. Montoya, 10 rounds for the vacant WBC Continental America's Super Featherweight Championship. Matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada.
This is Mark Castro's 4th appearance in Las Vegas, and he is fighting his 4th straight opponent with double-digit victories as Montoya looks to face his 4th undefeated opponent in his last 9 fights. He has over a decade of pro experience after turning pro in 2012. Put a little context under that. Mark Castro was in high school as a freshman when Abraham Montoya began his pro career. Now, Castro and Montoya will go at it tomorrow night for the WBC Continental America's Super Featherweight title. Castro's first opportunity to capture a pro title. Coming up in moments, it'll be the weigh-in for Nicholson and Mahfoud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in our world title bout of the evening as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the vacant WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Now making her way to the stage with a professional record of 14 victories, 1 defeat. She has 3 knockouts. She fights out of Copenhagen, Denmark. Here is the former IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Sarah Mahfoud. And her opponent now making her way to the stage, a professional record, a perfect one. 9 fights, 9 victories, with one of them coming by way of knockout. She fights out of Queensland, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2020 Olympian and the reigning and undefeated WBC interim featherweight champion of the world, Sky Nicholson. Now to the scale, Sarah Mahfood. 125 pounds. 125 pounds for Sarah Mahfood. And now to the scale, the undefeated Sky Nicholson. $125.6 pounds for the undefeated Sky Nicholson.
Face to face, please, first.
Sky Nicholson, Sarah Mahfood, 10 rounds for the vacant WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada.
The top 2 ranked fighters at featherweight by the WBC set to square off tomorrow night on DAZN here in Vegas. Sky Nicholson 9-0, coming off her first pro stoppage against Lucy Wildheart. Mahfoud, the former IBF featherweight champ, now trying to become a 2-time featherweight champion at 14-1 with 3 knockouts. This is her first fight in the United States, just her second fight outside of her native Denmark. Nicholson and Mahfoud for the WBC featherweight title tomorrow night here on DAZN.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're set to go with the next bout for the weigh-in as we go 10 rounds for the WBC International Flyweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. Professional record, 21 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando el orgullo de Lanús, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Here is the former WBO International Light Flyweight Champion, El Avión, Agustín Gauto. Ladies and gentlemen, nice round of applause. Also, 2-division world champion, Marcos Maidana El Chino in the house. Give him a nice round of applause. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the defending champion. His young professional record thus far perfect, 6 fights, 6 victories, with 4 of the 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the West Midlands, Birmingham, England. Here is the 2020 Olympic gold medalist and the reigning, defending, and undefeated WBC International Flyweight Champion, Galal Yafai. Now to scale, El Avión, Agustín Gauto. 111.2 for Gauto, 111.2 for El Avión. And now to the scale, the defending champion, the undefeated man from Birmingham, Galal Yafai. 111.6 pounds for Galal Yafai. Claudio 5. El Avión, Agustin Gauto, 10 rounds for the WBC International Flyweight Championship Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada.
The 31-year-old Yafai looking to take out another highly experienced pro opponent in his first fight in Las Vegas, entering at 6-0, 4 knockouts. Agustin Gauto, 21-1. 15 KOs, going for his 5th straight win. He has won 3 of his last 4 inside the distance. You saw the Argentinian support, Chino Maidana, on the stage, part of Maidana Promotions, is Gauto, as it's a big night for these two 112-pounders set to go tomorrow from the Blue Life Theater at the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. Let's move over to the co-feature and back on stage with David Diamante.
All right, thank you, Justin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the WBO International and the WBC USA Super Middleweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the undefeated challenger. Professional record, perfect, 15-0. He's got 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Aurora, Colorado. Please welcome the undefeated, the amazing Sean McCalman. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, he is the defending champion. Professional record, also a perfect one. 20 fights, 20 victories, with 17 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of and represents South Central Los Angeles, California. Here is the reigning, the defending, the undefeated, and the hard-hitting WBC USA and WBO International Super Middleweight Champion, Diego Pacheco. Now to scale, the amazing Sean McCalman. 167.6 for the undefeated, the amazing Sean McCalman. And now to the scale, the undefeated defending champion, Diego Pacheco. 167.4 for Diego Pacheco. Two undefeated, it's a nick and nil contest. Diego Pacheco, the amazing Sean McCalman. 10 rounds for the WBO International and WBC USA Super Middleweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Sean McCalman stepping forward, an extra step in that stare down with Diego Pacheco. McCalman at 15-0, 7 KOs. Pacheco 20-0, 17 knockouts. He stopped his last 9 opponents. This is his first scheduled 12-rounder. He hasn't needed the extra rounds. He has not gone the distance since an 8-round fight in 2021. And same for McCalman. He has yet to fight past 8 rounds. This is his first 12-round fight. McCalman hailing from Aurora, Colorado, just outside of Denver. We know Pacheco brings the noise from Los Angeles, now residing in Seattle, as those two will square off in the co-feature, and that will set us up for our main event on DAZN tomorrow night.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here to the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, for the official weigh-in of our big night of World Championship professional boxing taking place here on Saturday night. And it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 12 rounds for the IBF Junior Welterweight World Title Eliminator. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, perfect. 29 fights, 29 victories, with 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former IBF Latino Super Lightweight Champion desde Tres Arroyos, Buenos Aires, Argentina, El Eléctrico, Gustavo Lemos. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, also a perfect one. 17 fights, 17 victories, with 7 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the beautiful borough of Brooklyn, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the reigning and undefeated IBF North American and the WBO NABO Super Lightweight Champion. He is the 2016 Olympian, the undefeated Richardson Hitchins. Now to the scale, El Eléctrico, Gustavo Lemos. 138.4 for Lemos. 138.4. And now to the scale, the undefeated Olympian from Brooklyn, Richardson Hitchins. 139.8. 139.8 pounds for Richardson Hitchins.
Mind games. Face to face first, please. Face to face.
Two undefeateds, main event, Richardson Hitchins, Gustavo Lemos, 12 rounds for the IBF Junior Welterweight World Title Eliminator. Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA.
Two fighters putting their unbeaten marks on the line in the IBF Super Lightweight Title Eliminator tomorrow. The 17-0 Richardson Hitchins, the 29-0 Gustavo Lemos will go head-to-head tomorrow night here at the Blue Life Theater in Las Vegas. We welcome you back in studio. The weigh-ins are complete. Ray Ford, Justin Shackle. We're going to be meeting up with Diego Pacheco in a matter of moments. I got to ask you, though, when you're up there, you're doing the final stare down, what are you doing up there? What are you looking for? And what are you trying not to show?
Me personally, I don't really get into the weigh-ins and face-offs, I don't think of it too much. My main thing is getting to some food, so I don't really care to be up there looking into your eyes for 10 years. I want to go get some food, but a lot of other people, they try to figure out things and figure out their opponent, so.
I hear that. You always want to get the food after the weigh-in, and that's what these fighters are about to do as they get out of here for this weigh-in. Let's take a look at the betting odds for tomorrow night here on DAZN, presented by Bet Online. You can get more info at betonline.ag. Those are the fights until, or at least the top one, Medeiros and Vicente, what you will see on Before the Bell. We mentioned Mark Castro, Abraham Montoya has moved to the main card. It's so good, it'll be starting in prime time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here in Vegas. And then the rest of the main card right there, you see the odds, again, presented by Bet Online. Head over to betonline.ag for more info on this one. All right, we saw Hitchins and Lemos face off one final time. You have a heavy hitter and a largely unknown undefeated fighter in Lemos. How do you think he stacks up against what Richardson Hitchins is able to do in the ring?
I think he could be a tough opponent if he, come in there with the right game plan and, work and do the game plan that they work on. I think it could be a tough fight. I know Richardson Hitchins is expecting him to, be a pressure fighter and, to come in and keep trying to, beat on his body and things like that. But, Richardson's a smart fighter. Got a great jab, like I said before, a good hand speed, good footwork.
He's got that technician reputation. You have that technician reputation. But what do you admire about Richardson's technique in the ring?
I think he stayed true to himself. We know what he's going to do when we get in there. He's going to box. He's a pure boxer, and I love watching him box. I love his style, and I think it's going to be a great fight.
It's sharp for sure. All right, we're moments away from being met with Diego Pacheco here in studio as he gets going in his co-feature bout coming up against Sean McCalman. You saw McCalman step forward a bit, get a little bit closer to Pacheco, and I think that's awesome when you see a fighter who has a lot to prove against this big name. He knows he's the B-side. He knows he's the underdog. He's showing a lot of heart there, and he intends to do business and try and pull off the upset here. And we're about to be greeted with Diego Pacheco here in studio. And this is pretty cool because if you get us here in focus in Vegas, these two are two of the first Matchroom USA signees back when they were teenagers, right? And this is the first time that you've seen Ray since he won the title?
Yeah.
Okay.
First time.
This is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, congratulations again, my brother. You did that, man.
Appreciate it.
Great,
You next,
great
man.
fight. Yes, sir.
When do you think it will be next? The realistic timeline. When do you think you could start? I know you're hollering for the big names. When do you think they're finally going to be brought to you?
I feel like right now I got to take care of business Saturday, of course, and then hopefully trying to get a big name towards the end of this year, get a good fight, and finally be up there with the elites, because I feel like people know what I could do in there, but I really don't got any name on my resume yet, and I feel like that's what's missing right now. And of course, take care of business Saturday, and then hopefully get a bigger name towards the end of the year, and maybe next year I'll be ready to go for a world title. I know Canelo's holding all the belts, but I mean, I'm coming, man. Whenever the time is right, I'm gonna be ready for whoever has the titles at the moment.
What'd you see from McCalman's eyes as he made a step forward to you in the stare down?
I see fear in his eyes. He's never been in there with anybody like me. He's done the right things. He's here for a reason, but he ain't never been in there with nobody like me. So I'm just looking forward to tomorrow, putting on another great performance and going home with the W.
All right, this is the first business trip for Dad. You brought your baby girl here to Las Vegas, and you will be in action. It's not just for you anymore. You mentioned this. It's for your family. Ray has a baby girl, Tyler. She's so cute. I know you bring her around fight weeks as well. Any fatherly advice for a fighter now who is a dad in training?
Just stay ready. They always changing every day. It's something new. Yeah, my advice is, just to, enjoy every moment. That's what I do. I enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, girl dad gang.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Diego Pacheco in action tomorrow night against Sean McCallum, the co-feature for a lineup of fighters who look to make some noise in their respective weight divisions. We will christen the Blue Live Theater on DAZN. The main card gets going at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific. Before the bell will start up at 3:40 local time and 6:40 Eastern here on DAZN. So for Diego Pacheco joining us, for the featherweight champ Ray Ford, our entire Matchroom crew, we will talk to you tomorrow night from Las Vegas on DAZN.
Good work with a right hand.
There's big statements to be made on April 6th, and you're going to see a world-class Guy Nicholson. And the new.
It is over!
I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger. This is the biggest fight of my life.
This is the Richardson Hitchins division. I'm here, and I'm just knocking at their door.